Hello friends, my name is Reza Masood. Today we'll discuss about a topic lesson learned repository. This is a topic which we have taken from PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. If you are studying project management and you are planning to give exam of PMP, so at least 4 to 5 questions will be there in the exam, which you will definitely see that which are directly related to lesson learned or lesson learned repository. So your concept should be very clear about that particular topic, because this is an important topic, very important topic with respect to PMBOK, with respect to PMP, Project Management Professional Exam Certificate. Secondly, if you are a professional project manager and working in any organization as a professional project manager, so your knowledge, your concept should be very clear about lesson learned repository, that how you can use that knowledge, that concept in your professional and practical life of project management. So let's just start. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell option as well, so that my new videos can reach to you. So let's just start. Lesson learn repository. If you see, first of all, this is a topic which is directly related to project management. And if you see, there are three terms: lesson learned repository. First of all, we have to understand that what is a lesson learned in project management terms. Uh, Lesson learned means that any lesson which you have learned throughout the project. For example, a lesson learned is that the stakeholder from customer side should be involved at the planning stage of a project. If you involve the project stakeholder from customer side at the time of user acceptance testing, it will be very difficult for you and it will create issues. Another lesson learned is that the whatever the cost estimates you have made, it should have to be reviewed by the uh, experts judges, experts person who have the domain knowledge, who are specialized in the domain. So you should have to review those cost estimates and time estimates through the experts, and after their historical information and expert opinion, you can finalize the estimates for cost and the time. So this is the called as the concept of lesson learned. Learn means that whatever the positive or negative things happen in a project, you should have to try to learn from them, and the positive things should be continued and the negative things should not be continued and should not be repeat. This is the main concept of lesson learned. Second purpose is also that if you whatever the lesson you are learning from a project, you should have to share it through a document with some other project managers and the team members as well, so that the opinions and the experiences which you gain, it should have to be beneficial for other persons as well. Like the lesson learned is that who whatever the estimates you have made, you should have to take the expert opinion of the domain, and also you have to use the historical information. Very important, very major mistakes which normally happen is that we use the historical data. Historical data means that we know that in the past the similar type of e-commerce solution implementation was done in 3 months. So we can say that this particular domain, this particular project, we can also complete in 3 months. We didn't take the opinion from the experts, and after once the project execution starts, we get to know that there are very complexities in the project and we can't complete in the 3 months. So very important lesson learned is that just take an example. Whatever the positive things happen in project, whatever the negative things happen in a project, you should have to try to document all those things as a project manager, and you should have to try the to learn from your mistakes which you have made. The purpose of documenting, and the purpose of documenting is that, friend, that you can avoid those mistakes which you have made in the past, and also the mistakes which you have made, it can be beneficial for other persons as well. Are you getting my point? It should have to be beneficial for other persons as well if it is documented. So lesson learn means a document which will be made by the project manager. He will document all those things which are positively happened in a project or negatively happened in a project. The positive things means that we should have to clearly define that these are the positive things, and we should continue these positive practices in the project, in the same project or in the other projects as well. And these things are negative and it should not be continued in the project, and we should have to learn from our mistakes, and we should not have to repeat those mistakes which we have done in that particular project. So this is called as the friend concept of lesson learn. Now lesson learn repository. Lesson learn repository, a store of historical information about lesson learned from previous projects, such as issues faced, things done uh, rights, things goes wrong, decisions made. So whatever the friend historical information related to lesson learned, you can make a repository. Repository means some think of some shared server, shared location at which you can share those all those repository, all those lesson learned. For example, you have implemented 5 projects of software development and you have 5 lesson learned documents, and you can share it with some at some shared location of a on some server, so that everyone can access those repositories and they can see whatever the things were wrong, whatever the things were right, whatever the issues we have faced. So this is the main purpose of making the lesson learn repository. Also SharePoint server can also be used for that particular reason for lesson learn. SharePoint server is a very good example of lesson learned repository, but it is not necessary that you should have to always use the lesson learned repository. You can also use some shared server, shared location on a computer, at which that particular document or folder can be shared with everyone, can know that what is the where is the location, and he or she can go there and read that particular documents, and it can be very beneficial for him. Friend, why lesson learned repository is important? Why should we have to make the lesson learned repository? Friend, see what happened, that something goes wrong in a project and you have documented as well. But see, after 1 year, after passing 1 year, no one knows that what was happened in a project wrong, what was happened wrong, what was happened right, what were the issues. However, friend, if you have a repository, if you have a shared location, and it is stored in some place, so you know that resources are coming, they are resigning, they are new resources are coming. So if there is a shared location, shared location is there at which all the lesson learned documents are available. So new person whoever has joined the company, they can just go on that particular shared location, and they can analyze the documents. They can try to avoid those mistakes which were happened historically. Like if there was a mistake happened in documenting the it was a mistake that we have lesson learned, that it is very necessary to make a functional specification document once the scope document signed off. Just take an example. It's a very basic mistakes. Normally we do that in complex projects. We just signed off the scope document and start implementation, and we didn't go for the functional specification document. So friend, as a project manager, you should have to be able to make sure that lesson learned repositories should be there. The concept of lesson learned repository is simply a shared location at which all those lesson learned documents should be available and should be accessible for other persons, other resources as well. So simply just think of lesson learned repository as a shared location. It can be a SharePoint server, it can be a shared server, it can be a shared folder, in which all the share lesson learned documents should be available, and it should be accessible to all those persons we should have a right or access on the documents. So friend, thank you, thanks a lot for your time, and that's all from my side. I hope you like this video. If you like, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thank you, thanks a lot for your time.